So I told y'all I was gonna get my merch shop up and running. So I've got it. So I want to show y'all my merch shop. So this is it. So I got some hats. So I got my own The Shoulders of Giants hats available for order. I have shirts. This supposed to be like a canvas, some kind of shirt, jersey shirt. I don't know why they got that design, but it's a jersey shirt. Somebody wanted. Got hoodies, regular shirts, heavy, what they call it, the heavy tee, tees for men's, unisex tees for women. Everything. I got a mug. I gotta get this mug too. But this is the merch that I have available. See, I got my mug, I have my hats, and I have my apparel available. And all of that is the links and stuff are below and connected to the video. So I got my merch shop up and running. Been working on that for a minute in the background to get my merch shop up and running. So I got it up and running. So if you want to support the channel, get you some merch, it's all available. Links below and links attached to the video.
Our next guest is here to remind us that there is power in being single. And for many Black women, singlehood is a choice that comes with learning and self-discovery. Dr. Jessica Moorman joins us now. She is an assistant professor of communication at Wayne State University and the go-to expert for her research examining the media's role in shaping Black women's single socialization. Welcome to Amplified. So great to have you here and to have this conversation. Let's start off with how we define what single is. Does it only mean unmarried, or is there something more to this?
Great question. Being single is a complex and ever-evolving experience that many of us have for ourselves. And so typically what we think about being single as is being unmarried. But there's also multiple configurations of unmarried life, right? So you can be dating and unmarried, you can be cohabiting and not married. But from the standpoint of the United States Census, single means unmarried, and that's it, just unmarried.
So in your research, you found that most participants describe single life with terms like transforming, a time to learn, difficult, and frustrating. Tell us more about your findings and what you believe may be the reason for all those responses.
Sure. So first and foremost, we have very limited understandings of what being single actually is. So you asked a moment ago, like, what's the definition of being single? That definition includes a number of experiences, things like dating, being celibate, being, just living with a partner, right? And different configurations. Women are finding the opportunity to explore, to grow.
Go ahead.
You said as we go, right?
I said as we go. I said it. I already knew how this was gonna go, so I saw your face. But I know how to pick them.
Nah, I'm not at this point. I'm like, maybe we should have did the other one. Maybe we should have did the other one. But upon further YouTubing, you found something worse.
I told you.
Yo, like, do the finger, hit the like button, subscribe, and all that jazz.
Hey, welcome to Friday Breakdown. Growth Award, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. We are here breaking down this video of Dr. Jessica Moorman, basically explain. She's basically like laying out a blueprint of romanticizing singlehood for Black women, and
she's been on this crusade for over a decade, I think.
Yeah, and just trying to make it why Black women should be single, like putting all this energy into people being single instead of people learning how to get along. But go ahead, Pat. Oh yeah, hit that like button too. Please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and share, and all that. Go ahead.
Because she's not actually talking about singleness. She's talking about not being married and lumping it all. Like, just because you're not married don't mean you're single.
Right.
And it sounds like she's almost trying to make the case that if you're not married, then you're free to do whatever you want to do in any given situation.
Well, I think one of the things she's failing to realize is in the real world, women who are in relationships and not married don't look at themselves as single in a legal way, because they understand that they're not married, but they don't classify themselves as single because they are in a relationship. But you're right, and that's one of the first things that jumped out to me. That's how I knew this was going to be a good one, that she's lumping all that together.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Single is not complex. Do you have somebody? Yes or no? If you do, you not single.
But
if you don't, you single.
That's why I framed it the way I did. It's like romanticizing or even trying to make singlehood look more advertising for Black women. Hey, this is why you should be single. Why are you single? You can be such a great person. And it's like, we know being single ain't the end of the world, but shouldn't we be putting our energy into learning to work together though? Shouldn't we?
But see, the thing is, and really she's the way it can be interpreted as far as what she's doing is, like you said, vilifying or at least minimizing the importance of people cohabitating, sharing spaces, and being in the space together. But by creating it, because for one, we rarely, if ever, use the legal definitions for something as a part of social or cultural definitions and representations of constructs. Like you said earlier, we understand that if you have a long-term boyfriend or girlfriend, then according to the census, according to the legal definition, you're single because you don't have the legal benefits. But according to the social and cultural definitions, you have somebody. You're not single. And most of us exist under those social and cultural definitions to a finer degree in terms of the way we look at and understand the world than we do the legal definitions. Most people don't know the law. So even there's this attempt to obscure or muddy the waters of this conversation, which creates this disingenuous lane where you can say anything foolish that you want to say. I don't know what she's going to say because I haven't seen this clip, but just the way she's trying to color and frame the argument immediately puts her outside of the scope of what most people, culturally or socially speaking, would be thinking when they're having this conversation. And in the age of soundbots, clickbait, and all this other stuff, she's creating titles that could be leading people down the wrong path. And if she is a doctor, I gotta believe she's done enough schoolwork and she's done enough reading and research throughout the process of getting her doctorate that she understands the potential dangers in what she's doing.
She's a feminist.
Okay, so maybe she hasn't read books. Is that what that means? I don't know what that means.
They have an angle. I mean, like we know the total angle because we've studied it ourselves individually and as a collective. You know, that angle of separating the Black man and Black women with these different ideologies, and we all know that feminism didn't really help Black women. And for the ones who are still steeped in it in 2025, it's like, well, I mean, especially her, like, you don't really understand. You don't really, are you not taking a look at what's going on? Do you think what's going on in our community is a good thing? Because it's like she is promoting singlehood. She's promoting for Black women. Hey, let's go out and learn how to be the greatest single people ever and remain single and just be great in this.
She's not promoting singlehood if she's, and I'll find out as I listen, but if what you're saying is true and she's promoting this definition, this banner, she's not promoting singlehood,
but she's promoting unmarriedhood.
Yeah, she's promoting not being married.
Right, which is a problem in our community. So you want to add piece or you want to keep going?
We listen and we don't judge.
There it is.
Pat done said it all. I mean, she's talking to half the population, 48 to 49% of the American population above legal age are not married. You know, people are not, and I think, you know, sometimes they can condense those age brackets to like, you know, 22 to 36 or something like that. But the bottom line is she's being directly indirect in regards to how she's approaching this, which is, you know, it's an easy way to create a sliding scale and move the goalpost. So Just like the host asked her, what does it mean? And then
Yeah.
because the host broke down, basically the host was really diving into female loneliness. That's what she seemed like she was diving into about this whole concept of being single.
And then she shifted it to unmarriedness. Yeah,
let's face it. For all the propaganda about the men, it's the women that are out here talking about how come we can't find any men. They're having these singles, these single mixers and things of that nature. And you have 40 women in the room and 3 or 4 men to show up. And typically speaking, the 3 or 4 men that show up really aren't interested in dating. They just want to be there to witness, it's like watching a car accident or watching a train wreck. You see it coming, but you can't turn away. And I just think she's really not, I think she's really not, well, I mean, I've watched it before. I think a lot of these people are sick. It is. I mean, because you think about it, they have agendas, and their agendas damage people.
Definitely have. I believe she definitely has an agenda.
So she will be the one person benefiting from creating a whole. Like I watched something on somebody was talking about Oprah Winfrey the other day, right? I'm not sure who it was. It might even been Corey Holcomb, right? Shout out to Corey Holcomb. And was saying that diabolically speaking, theoretically, you can say that Oprah kept Black women single so that as she aged, she could maintain her single audience. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm not saying that it was or wasn't. I don't know what the analytics are about it. It wouldn't surprise me either way. But and I'm like I said, I'm not sure. I know that I think it was like a compilation type video that talked about that. But what is the benefit of dealing with things from this perspective when, like, a lot of the women already have children? 64% of Black women already have children. Some of them are married. Some of them luck up and get married twice. But that number is way down in the 20s and the teens. So in terms of percentages. So what is the benefits from all of this? Especially now, considering the economy and how, you see all these statistics and you see the sisters, Black women, talking about how they've been adversely affected by all the cutoff of the program shutting down, the jobs not being available or them getting cut from those jobs, through layoffs or just getting fired and terminated because their position's been eliminated. How do you want it? Why would you propose this whole notion of, because it ain't, Black women being single, unless you have an alternative agenda? Do you have a book deal coming? Like what's going on? So
but that's why I go back to, and I said what I said earlier, she's a feminist, because remember when we did the video of the lady who was she was a contributor for Cosmo magazine. I can't remember her name off the top, but she was a contributor for Cosmo magazine. And she talked about how the editor was adamant about pushing the sexual revolution, which was in line with the feminist movement, also in line with welfare. And
I remember that.
And the main,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I remember PC getting lit up on a panel for trying to talk about that.
You're right. And but he was right. But remember what she said, I think Susan Brown Douglas or something like that. Susan Brown was the Cosmo editor, but the end goal was to create a woman who operated like a man.
Oh,
whether single or not.
Well, the end game was to generate an economy based on single.
Right.
And so they profess that single women focus on their academics, and they focus on their career and sexual liberation, in their 20s. And then after they have their careers established, in their mid to late 30s, they start focusing on having children, which we started seeing a steep decline in children being born at that particular time And that's basically because of biology. You know, you're past the point, or you're near the point of geriatric pregnancy at that point, which then makes getting pregnant dangerous on all parts, you know, from the woman and the child. And, you know, and we also talk about the fact that you have genetic breakdowns after a while when, you know, both a male sperm and female egg, you know, those things during aging, they don't, you know, you might have a lot of children that's born with a lot of issues that scientifically has been proven to be, you know, the case. But the agenda you're talking about was in the 70s, and that was between Playgirl magazine, Cosmopolitan magazine, Women's Liberation, and the sexual liberation, the women's suffrage and the sexual liberation movement. And they had a meeting with 17 people in the room. So, and I know people will say, well, keep it. No. Y'all do your own homework. Look it up. It's not hard to find. And yes, the woman came clean because they started pitching this concept of this cosmopolitan living to women in small towns who had more conservative values. So, like, the whole notion of the TV series Sex and the City was based on that whole concept. And everything you've seen after that. TV shows promoting single Black women, you know, living single.
Yep.
So all the propaganda has been pointed in this direction for a long time in regard to this whole notion of feminism. And let's not forget that the Black feminist movement, because at the beginning, Black women didn't want to be part of the feminist movement until they sold them on different ways to snatch up leadership position, they created a social aspect of feminism for Black women.
Get that power.
Right. So we all want to be socially heard, you know, Black men put y'all on the back of movements, and you want to socially address this, you know, predisposed notion that Black men are violent and abusive and things of that nature. When Tommy J. Curry has done the research. But in addition to the man not, has shown that Black men were being, you know, MDK'd, you know, more so in those domestic disputes than Black women at that time. In fact, the rate was higher than white men, you know, unaliving white women at that particular time. Black men were the highest recipients in terms of that in the 70s. So when you look at when you see this, I mean, and I'm gonna shut up because I know you want to go on, but it's just sickening because how does this make women better for this is why you have women in their 50s and 60s trying to be cute on Instagram and TikTok.
70 too.
Yeah, and then talking about I'm gonna get me a man, my man. At that age,
I'm looking for my dream man at 70. Come on, man.
And competing with their daughters.
Hey man, we gotta learn how to. I have a problem with anybody, male or female, because I've stopped watching so many channels I've had conversations with you all about channels I've stopped watching that were ran by men on YouTube who were promoting men not getting married. Me personally, I have a problem with you, male or female, if you're promoting people within our community to not get married, as opposed to putting that energy into helping people learn how to work together. So all she missing is a nose ring.
And to really invest in themselves. As we know, relationships, while important, can require a lot of energy, can take a lot of time, and can distract from things like personal growth, personal development. And while many of the participants of my study wanted to be married,
I was just finna write it down.
Make that either.
I was just finna write it down. So yeah, that's bullshit. Like
as we go, yeah, that's bullshit.
I hate when they, and I'm using that word, I hate when they frame these conversations around relationships like they're so damn burdensome. They're so difficult to be in. They're so draining, and it's like they're painting like the worst aspects of the relationships that they just want to put out. They're so hard. You shouldn't get them because they suck so much of the life out of you. Stop it.
But hold on for a second. I know y'all about to jump into this. I just got one question. Do she strike you as somebody that's actually dealt with this? in her personal life, like dealt with the like she got dudes hollering at her to the point where that it's causing it's disrupting. She obviously got her doctorate degree and she's out there teaching at a college.
Nothing.
You know?
Man, we know that.
I'm just saying, no.
Now
the point
PC is on one tonight, and he just bringing it on in.
It's all good. Hey, I'm happy. Let me say, I'm happy that I was able to contribute to him being on one. So let's go.
I'm just asking, like, is she an example of what she's speaking of? Because far too many, like, you see women who are like overly, and you know, listen, I'm not juxtaposing this by saying, well, I seen the men too. Fuck all that. I've seen women who are obese talk about getting yelled at and harassed by walking past construction sites and people doing dog whistles and stuff. Come on, man. You might see somebody else going through it, but it ain't happening to you. And maybe you're upset that it's not happening to you. So, maybe because sometimes people have, like we said, agendas. Maybe this is her way of striking back at the men for not hollering at her. She wasn't the it girl. This, that, and the other. I'm just saying. So y'all go ahead, wherever y'all was about to go with this.
Hold on.
Listen, I'm not politically correct.
Emotional damage.
But once again, and it's because all women are twins and models and stuff like that. But
we listen and we don't judge.
All right.
Gut punch, kidney shot, liver shot, hook.
I'm done with
Jesus. Nah, you got more? I'm down.
Yeah, hey.
I'm done for now.
Hey, but nah, what caused me to want to stop it was, and I do think we need to pay attention, because this is something I've said for years. A lot of the people that end up being thought leaders in the community, particularly when it comes to gender issues, are not people that have a lot of experience dealing with the other gender. And we laugh and we make this joke all the time when we talk about men. I'll juxtapose it that way. We do it all the time when we talk about men. The only men that talk like this is men that ain't getting women, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But we never do what PC just did, which is flip it around and say, well, look at her. Why is she a thought leader for women in the community? Why is she the one that all of y'all choose to rally behind? Why is it? And I'm not speaking to this woman in particular because I don't know nothing about her, but I am speaking about the general situation. Why is it that the thought leaders for women are oftentimes clearly women that have nothing but negative interactions with men? Nothing but negative interactions with men. And they have these ideas that just spread and propagate, and nobody ever challenges the truth in what they're saying. But I think that's a whole nother show. Yeah. In particular, what I was getting. Go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead. Oh, I'm saying that's some real shit.
In particular, what I was getting at with stopping it, though, and I want to do this too before I get to it. PC deserves a round of applause for his bravery.
Yeah, I mean,
we always giving people they praise and that's such a brave thing you said. PC just spoke a very unpopular opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, he spoke a very unpopular opinion that has a lot of layers of truth to it.
It's like the video that's going viral now of the girl
the bullfrog.
Yeah, who looked like the Mucinex booger. Who had the nerve?
I was joking.
Hey, no, for real though. But she deserves it. She started it. She deserves it. But she's going viral for basically saying like 95% of the men are ugly, and you look like the Mucinex booger, right? Mm-hmm. And let's be real. She was either trolling or she knew exactly what she was doing, but she knew the backlash and stuff that she was gonna get for that, and she knows exactly what she's saying. But because if you're gonna make a statement like that.
I don't think she knew, Joe. I think she thought she was a dime.
She's not alone, though. There are thousands of those videos out there.
but once again, though, like looking at it from a realistic standpoint, it's these ideologies that are going out there, and you're right. People are listening to her. For one, she's a doctor, right? She has a PhD in communication studies from University of Michigan and a master's in I think MHS, I guess health studies or something from John Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. And so she got a PhD, so people are going to listen to her. She's a doctor. And so since she's saying this, she got to be right because she's a doctor. But what we fail to realize, and what another point you're getting at, Pat, is it's a difference between being a doctor and having it from a theoretical standpoint and being a doctor from having it from the theoretical and the lived experience standpoint as well, right? Because if you are a woman who has actually had a chance to cohabitate with a man in a healthy manner, you wouldn't even have this rhetoric.
Well, let's look at the qualifiers now. The qualifiers are really based in attractiveness. The qualifiers are she's well educated, she has a great job, and she's in this income bracket, and she has this title and this degree. That's all fine and dandy, but am I attracted to her? Because when it comes to the men have to have traits that are all things that women are attracted to. You know, the man has to, first of all, it starts with his salary. All right. Then it goes down to whether or not she tingles when he walks by. And we know what she means when I say she tingles, when he walks by. And the man, career-wise, doesn't even have to be a man with a career. They would prefer a man of leisure. So a man that doesn't put in a lot of office work. Well, you pretty much describe somebody that's dealing with some form of a legal trade, because there's very few men on the planet that have that type of job that make that type of money with that type of leisure time. And so when you speak to it from that perspective, it speaks to the double standard. And two, like, right. I don't give a damn. Like, you know how many women have tried to set me up? Like, hey, I got a friend. And I said, what she look like? Why does that matter? It fucking matters. I have to be attracted to her. I have to be able to wake up to her face. If I cannot wake up to her face, it's no need, because we're both going to be disappointed. Well, she's not going to get my 100%, and I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with it. And so,
no, I'm with you. I'm with you because I guess my thing is, because I agree with everything you're saying, and on top of that, her rhetoric, and also the rhetoric going back to the girl that went viral, is that type of stuff keeps us divided. That type of stuff keep us at each other's neck. That type of stuff keep us combative. That type of stuff is helping to push the narrative that she's trying to push in romantic. And because hey, these men are not up to par, and this is why you should be single, because look at all these ugly men, look at all these incapable men, look at all these men who can't meet the standard. This is why you should be single, and you're pushing everybody further apart.
Well, here's the deal, right? At what point in time was Black culture in America loyal?
Yeah, it's never been loyal to each other as a whole. It's never been. So but I'm glad you said that, because it needs to be said. It needs to be said, and it needs to be said explicitly. Black culture as a whole in America, matter of fact, Black culture as a whole on this planet as a whole in mass have never been loyal to each other.
There you go. And so because and that's been, that's systemic, but you can't talk to people about systemic things because they can only talk about things they can, the five that alerted to their five senses, right? So if they can't see it, if they can't smell it, if they can't taste it, they can't touch it, they can't feel it, then the conversation sometimes will go over their head in regards to how this happened. I brought this up the other day, right, in terms of like how white supremacy itself has shown how it can sabotage Black men. And I know everybody's not a sports fan, this, that, and the other. But if you look at the case of Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders, infamous, one of the greatest players of all time, football wise. He was like, he had to pay a tax because of his father, because people hated his father, because they wanted to actually, in my opinion, they wanted to sit down this Black man that wanted to actually be in charge or in control of where his son landed during the draft, NFL draft. And in particular, it went beyond that because the team that eventually drafted him in the 5th round ended up having to put him in the lineup because all the other quarterbacks on the team, the Cleveland Browns, were either hurt or ineffective. he started having success and started immediately getting sabotaged by his own head coach. His own head coach pulled him out the game when there was a chance to tie the game up on a 2-point conversion. His own head coach then did the thing the week later. Then on this particular time, his own head coach purposefully gave him the wrong call band, like the band that they wear for the calls, to call the plays, gave him the wrong one. And so, and they made it seem like it was his incompetence. And so, but this is how they can sabotage you in front. So that's kind of like the example I'm showing how they can, how when the dominant culture wants to, sabotage or reduce the opportunity for you to have power, this is what they do, right? Now, so if you try to explain that this woman is a tool, a stooge for the concept of white supremacist separatism policies that they've been creating in the Black community, because they understand we're not linked. And as we said on shows way back a millennia ago, almost sometime this year, Black people did not naturally come here. Black people, for the most part, 90% of the Black people that came to America were at the bottom of a slave ship. And they came here against their own will. They didn't come here planning to build America. 90% of those imported were men, males, young boys, and men at that particular time. The women came, they were the white man's concubine. They were the white man's supplier of children and so forth. That's where you get the whole background, the backdrop, and the foundations for HBCUs, right? So, they also were used as slave breeding, on the farms. This is a concept we can't get to a point, and I'm gonna let her finish talking. People don't want to go back to a place we've never been. As a community, we call ourselves a community because it's the easiest way to say it. We're really just a populace of people who happen to share this similar genetics.
Hey, man, she can't be a white supremacist. She got natural hair. She ain't got no makeup. Look at them earrings. She got African print stuff in the background.
You've seen the pictures of the late Bell Hooks?
Oh, but that's why I'm saying how I'm saying it, because the image. But that's why I've always said what I said. Like, just because it looks Afrocentric, just because it looked like it's Black, don't mean it is.
But this is the image of most sisters who like white men. Have you seen the sisters? Like, I work on the college campus. I've seen them up and down the campus, up and down the street. The sisters that have they actually will put the weave down, put the straight comb and the active and like the perm down and go natural. Start having shells in their head for white men. They look like this.
That's what I'm saying.
Features. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they come with the Afrocentric natural nature look. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
What I was going to, the reason I asked it to stop was because just bring it all the way back. But the reason I asked to stop is because she made a statement, and the only reason I bring it up now is because I got so caught up in what y'all was saying that I forgot why I asked it, and it just popped in my head, and I was like, let me get it off before I forget again. She said, being in a relationship distracts you from self-improvement.
Yes, bullshit.
Which is the pinnacle peak of foolishness.
Right.
If being in a relationship distracts you from self-improvement, then you're in a bad relationship. I will raise my hand and tell you that. Because if you're in a healthy relationship, your partner should be encouraging you and pushing you to become a better person.
Clearly she has no history of being in healthy relationships with a statement like that.
Bro, she's been doing this thing for like 10 years. She did this on the heels of Mike Brown getting, assassinated in Ferguson, Missouri. I remember distinctly. She actually went to Ferguson after that. That's why I said she's been doing this for 10 years. She's been on this same kick for 10 years. At least. Yeah. We saw at the beginning, but we don't know when she started. All right, you can go ahead.
Were married? many participants were just trying to make the most of the experiences that they were having in unmarried life. Some were dating, some were traveling, some were focused on school, some were focused on entrepreneurial endeavors. All of these were different, approaches to unmarried life that allowed participants to grow in themselves, learn more about who they were, but then also give back to their families, their communities, and ultimately kind of create opportunities for themselves, but also other members of their community by being available, by being a resource, by being someone that they could turn to. And so single status, as controversial as that topic has become in kind of modern society, really just is another way to experience adult life. And it's just as valid as being married.
Who said it wasn't?
But that's my thing. Like, where's she getting these narratives from? Because when I'm online and I'm hearing, especially black men, if she's talking about black men, hearing black men talk about single womanhood, their conversations, especially even the crazy ones, they want women to just behave better, just behave different. It's not nobody's trying to oppress women. They're trying to get along. For the most part, the men who want women, their rhetoric centers on, I want to be able to get along with you. I don't know what she's talking about. Where's she getting her information from?
But this is the whole thing, right? And this is how Bell Hooks got, and not just Bell Hooks, but other black feminists sort of like made their mark. They don't really cite statistics. They'll cite anecdotal situations. Or remember when Fox used to say, Fox News used to be like, people have said, and then they'll spew out something that maybe one or two people may have said, but it wasn't general thought, but it created a consensus because, propaganda works is you say a lie and then you say it loud, and the longer you say it, the louder you say it, the more you say it, the more people believe it. So the way she's operating right now is from a perspective that there's nothing to back it up. Like the stats, she would lose a debate against somebody who actually can cite the statistics, can cite the actual data. That's why she's not going to cite any data. It's going to be juxtaposed. I don't even have to watch the rest to know this part, but we're going to watch it. Juxtaposed to, that's my word now. Juxtaposed to saying so. I said juxtaposed so much I forgot the fuck I was talking about. Sorry.
Well, I say it for you. So let's say we're looking at somebody's content like Kevin Samuels, right? Because Kevin Samuels would be one of the platforms that she throwing I guess you could say sniper shots at, right? Because she throwing shots, but she ain't calling nobody's name, but she throwing shots, right? So if we go and look at Kevin Samuels' platform, like at the end of the day, was he denigrating women for being single or telling women the truth so they can improve themselves and actually find a good man? Right? Because the picture she's painting is, hey, you're being denigrated by the largest society for being a single black woman. Ain't nobody denigrating single black women. We're trying to get with single black women. We want majority of black men especially want to be in a good, solid, healthy, peaceful relationship with black women. Because think about it, whenever you look at those videos and they go out in the street and they do those little street survey interviews and they ask women, can you live without men? Majority of the women say yes. None of the men say yes. All the men say no, we cannot live without women. I guarantee you, she's getting her information from that far radicalized group of women who have been scorned by men. Just like if you get information from them radicalized, scorned men who've been scorned by women, it'll be off. But we would be fools if we go get information from over there and try to bring it to the web and say, hey, this is how men think. No, it ain't. That's a small group of people.
I go where legitimacy is, and legitimacy will point you in a direction in regards to whose argument is more relevant, or whose argument makes more sense, or whose argument should receive the backing. Because it's sometimes two things are not equal; they're false equivalencies. So, but if she's going to continue to spew all these different things from this perspective, then it's clear that she doesn't have an agenda based on, her agenda is not based on bridging the gap between black men and black women. Her agenda is more so about creating a pathway that okays the whole concept of single black women, which
romanticizing singlehood.
But you know, if we look at the end results, I mean, I could drive you. I could get her in a car. She can ride a shotgun. We can drive through some neighborhoods. She's near Detroit, right? We can drive through some neighborhoods in Detroit where, you know, she can see where all the single black women are and see how they're living.
She think it's empowering because she got her feminist glasses on.
They got this and they got this glass on. They got these glasses on, Joe.
Black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
You know, but you want to know what we say?
but I don't. It's not a. But here's the thing, right? Because it's easy for them to push us in a position where we start doing tit for tat, right? I'm not in it for the tit for tat. I mean, I don't think, you know, based on our conversations, based on some of the things you've been saying just today. I can't say tonight because we're going to be here on Friday. But just to some of the things you've been saying, we're not in this to sort of like create this chasm between black men and black women.
She is, and that's why we're calling her out, because she's creating a chasm. Between black men and black women.
And they have to ask themselves, how do black women benefit from it? Because that's the biggest question. Because all black women are not in college. All black women are not excelling professionally. A lot of black women are in Walmart. A lot of black women are in your grocery store, you know, at the cash register or stocking shelves. You know, we get paid for that.
I wanted to hold something up.
What it was? I missed.
Oh no,
it's cool. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, PC.
But they're not living that life. They're struggling. You ever go to a fast food restaurant and the woman up front, it just has the nastiest mood? You don't even want her to handle your food because you don't want that energy transference. A lot of times, those are single sisters who are going through shit. They, you know, these, and I ain't talking about teenagers. These sisters in their 30s, 40s, some of them in their 50s, some may even be in their 60s. That are going through life, and life is hard. You promote this type of living, you're doing a disservice by pandering and trying to create a circumstance for these women that is not beneficial for them. And I can tell you from personal experience, watching people try to fulfill roles that I have in the past, I make the shit look easy. Life is draining from them to try to do the things that I've done because they can't handle it the way I handle it or whatever. Stress, like, go back to Kevin Samuels. I know you're trying to jump in. You're ready to go, Joe. Stress is made for shoulders. It's not made for hips.
Look, I just looked it up. The narratives that she's pushing and the soundbite that you played, right? Mm-hmm. Like Pat just said, it doesn't pertain to the large majority of black women. I'm looking it up now. 29 to 30% of black women age 25 plus have a college degree. The majority of black women are not living that reality, even though the narrative is being pushed by the majority of black women.
Because it's a tit for tat. It's a competition which shouldn't be a competition. But like I said before, there's nothing grounding us historically in terms of building strong foundational black families. Right. The only thing we had in the past that grounded black people as families was the black church. And now look at what's happened to the black church. It's been commercialized. You got tax status. They work in conjunction with, you know, government agencies and so forth to get government funding. So it's not the black church is the one thing, like the religious institutions are the one thing. One thing I get the Nation of Islam, if they, you know, I don't know too many people who are still practicing. I mean, I'm not saying they don't practice. I just don't know them. Philly is not a Nation of Islam city anymore. So, but one of the things that their leadership still pushes is the need for families, the need for black families. We don't really see that everywhere else in this rebellious, sort of individualistic, sort of anarchist sort of like community or era that we're in right now. Everybody wants to be a rebel against the status quo. Nobody wants to follow rules. Nobody wants to make themselves nobody wants to compromise any of the things they're doing. Nothing is taboo anymore. So anything you do, any way you live is acceptable. And therefore you create a pathway for a woman like this to sort of profit off of the people's pain. And it's not going to do nothing but create more pain when they realize they've been hoodwinked. How many times have you seen women on video, black women talking about, y'all lied to us? You know what I'm saying? Y'all told us all these different things, this and the other.
You lied to yourself.
I done missed, but they're gullible. Black women typically live through the experiences of other women. That's why an 11-year-old could be a feminist.
But that's why I asked the question earlier. Like at this point in time in 2025, are we taking any black woman who's a feminist serious at this point? Like we have enough hindsight right now to see what has happened. So any black woman who still says she's a feminist, are we taking them serious?
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
They have a pull on the. It's like you can't underestimate your enemy.
I get it. You know, hey. I be fucked up every week. I know. So
no, I'm just saying that they exist.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like saying, man, a little bit of cancer ain't gonna hurt me. It's just in my left toe. And then next thing you know, the shit done spread to the rest of your body. You gotta address it. Sometimes you gotta cut that motherfucker. Oh, you already know. I know by experience. Sometimes you gotta cut it off.
Hey. All right, let's let it keep.
You were definitely on one tonight.
Yeah, he is. Hey, man. Hey.
Single woman action plans. What are they? And
single woman action plans.
Okay.
So the single woman action plan, or as I'm rebranding it, the singlehood action plan, because you don't have to be a woman to do this plan, right? So is basically allowing people the opportunity to think, plan, and prepare for what they want to do in unmarried life. I think a lot of us, I'll speak for myself, have a vision of their marriage, right? When I was a little girl, I knew I would get married at this age. I knew I would be doing this for my career, et cetera, right? We have these kind of basic plans, whether we realize we're planning for our future or not. Singlehood and single life throws a wrench into that for many of us, right? Because a lot of us were raised to think that we would get married, and it's beautiful to be married, right? But what the singlehood action plan allows for adults to do is think, okay, in the absence of that long-term marital partner, in the absence of that kind of committed relationship right now, what are some goals that are important to me? What are some steps that I'm willing to take to move towards those goals? And what can I do in the here and now to prepare myself for those next phases of life, right?
Okay, Joe.
And so part of this is just an audit.
Okay, Joe. Okay. That's called being an adult.
I mean, I look. I just wrote it down. Look at don't skew my handwriting. Single woman action plan equals adulthood. I literally just wrote that down. That's literally like, are you serious, lady?
Yes, she is. But a singlehood action plan, that shit is diabolical.
You're supposed to get yourself together whether you in a relationship or not. You're supposed to have your stuff together.
So we just laying around on the couch with our hands in our pants like Al Bundy, just waiting for her to walk through the door.
And it didn't even work for Al Bundy because he was married already. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy. She's literally saying, hey, if you're going to be single, you need to make sure you have yourself in a great position in life. Duh.
But she spoke to something though. She spoke to something that, could possibly be a motive for this, because she spoke to the fact that she was looking forward to get married, and it didn't happen because I was watching the fingers. And
trust me.
On them chubby little nubs, I didn't see a ring, nothing, no tattoo, nothing.
And in saying that, what I wrote down before I wrote down adulthood, and the first question popped in my head the first time I saw this: you wanted to be single at a specific time frame. How did you prepare yourself to be married?
Well, she said she grew up wanting to be married. So
how did you prepare yourself to be married? Because I can want to play in the NFL, but how did I prepare myself to go play pro football?
Mm-mm-mm.
And if you didn't prepare yourself to be a wife, you're not gonna be no wife. And if you are one, you ain't gonna be one for long.
Well, that's what I'm hearing in all of this. One, I agree with y'all, and that was my thought too. Like, what all of those things she listed are things that you should be doing anyways. So I agree with y'all. Like, that's adulthood, and even if you're married, you should still be doing a good number of those. Like, so
this is
like
childish.
Yeah. So, but then to your point, Joe, that's the other thing. Anytime I hear these people talking about the dream of marriage that they had, this illusion of marriage, and then instead of challenging the dream or the illusion or any sort of effort that they may or may not have put in to achieve it, they always attack the institution and the world at large for why they couldn't get what they felt like they were supposed to get. And so the question becomes, like, if somebody is 50 years old and they like, I always dreamed of going to college. And then you say, well, why didn't you go? I don't know. I just never really studied for no test. I never really went to school.
Well, bitch, you wasn't serious.
Right. And that's what you would say. You would say, well, I find it hard to believe that you dreamed of going to college and you didn't do any schoolwork. You didn't study. You didn't do anything to prepare yourself academically to even approach entering the institution. What? And that's the same way we need to be talking about marriage. Okay, you dreamed of being married. Great. You know what? I dreamed of flying last night. Like, in my dream, I was on a roof and I took off Superman style and flew around the world. Like, what are you? So you can dream about anything. What are you doing to achieve the dream?
When most of my childhood and teenage years, in my mind, because my parents was married around the age 26, 28, my thought process was, I'm going to be married at the age 26. But by the time I got 26, I realized I wasn't ready to be married and I didn't know how to be a husband and none of that stuff. Reality kicked in. I didn't say, oh, woe is me, the world, these women ain't right, all this. I realized, you know what? And I tell you, I talk to you all the time, because remember, we've had the conversation. Do I think I've missed somebody in the past? Nah, because I would have ruined it anyway, because I wasn't prepared for it. Like, why can't we be honest and just say, hey, I wanted to be married, but I ain't do a damn thing to put myself in the best position to be married? Just say that.
I wanted to get married, but my picker was wrong.
Hey, man, yeah. Yeah, man. But it's just like, come on, like, let's stop making it seem like society as a whole is just trying to denigrate Black women in a single status. No, a lot of that stuff is self-imposed and they're self-fulfilling prophecies, because that's how they think the world is looking at them like that. And especially Black men, we want to love you all and get along with you all. We love Black women. We want to be with Black women. Every Black man I know, even the fucked up ones, want a good Black woman in their life. Let's stop with the bull, man.
Let me see. Has she ever been married? I'm looking this up right now.
I don't know. I'm looking at her information. Dr. Jessica Mormon.
Regardless, and for me, it's like, regardless of how she comes across or whatever. I know my anecdotal experience, which is just as valuable as the one she just shared, is that I would say 90 to 95% of women at some point in time had an opportunity to be with a guy that wanted to marry them. Now, whether you like that man, didn't like that man, whatever the case might be, you still had that opportunity. There was a man out there that pursued you. I don't necessarily agree with the narrative that there are women out there that have never been pursued. I think that almost every woman has been pursued by somebody at some point in their life. So the decision
to do what they want.
Right. So it's like, I don't buy this whole I never had an opportunity to be married. No, yes, you did. You probably didn't want the guy, which is fine. But that's a totally different argument from the argument of I was just never presented with the opportunity, or I never this, or I never that, or whatever the case might be. I mean, even with PC talking about overweight women, the women on my 500-pound life have boyfriends.
Yeah, every last one of them. I just saw a video lady. She's 1,000 pounds, and she has a man.
Yeah, like so.
Every last one of them. I don't know.
I think she had a man. I'm looking at something. I think her son plays for used to play football or something like that. I'm just checking her out. Like she had a chance to do that too.
So I'm just trying to like really this whole perspective of I wanted to be married. We all want to be married, which is also a lie. Everybody don't dream of being married. I mean, I've met tons of little girls of late. And growing up, I talked to tons of girls that did not, in fact, dream of being married. So that whole thing needs to be broken. That's been something that's been going on since what, the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s? Like
that's the romanticism industry.
Right. So this thing happening where we're ignoring all of the stuff that we don't like and ignoring all of the stuff that disagrees with us and hyper focusing on the things that we agree with, even if, you know, like, or that supports our confirmation bias. So, and then we speak to that. People should be adults.
She's a marriage and family therapist with those ideologies. She's a marriage and family therapist.
But you know what? That makes sense because she's probably bumping into a lot of people in broken marriages where the women are vilifying the marriage and blaming the marriage for their own shortcomings. So it's kind of like when you talk to a cop and the cop is like, these niggas out here is crazy. Well, yeah, you keep bumping into the crazy ones. Where would she run into people in a healthy marriage as a marriage and family therapist? Most of her time is probably filled with dealing with dysfunction. So it becomes incumbent upon her to be able to say, hey, look, I'm in a field where I'm dealing with a lot of messed up people. I need to maintain perspective, but I'm not going to give her that because she should be intelligent. And I believe she is intelligent. She should be intelligent enough to understand what is happening, what she's saying, and how it can be used against the community. You're not helping Black women by saying if you're not married, you're single, and if you're single, you shouldn't be focused on anything but yourself and what you want to do. That's not even proper single for the community.
How does that prepare you to be able to be healthy in any type of relationship, let alone romantic relationships? You're literally setting people up to be isolated by themselves because nobody wants to be around somebody who's so selfish and focused only on themselves. Like that, but that's white supremacist rhetoric. That's that individualistic mindset stuff.
But it makes sense. Learning that she's a therapist and marriage, that's the pool of her research, anecdotal experiences that she can pull together and tell these women you're better off single. You know how many times I've seen, anecdotally speaking, men who have gone to marriage counseling knowing that the wife and the counselor have gotten together to ambush the man at the meeting, at the session. Like, and I'm saying anecdotally because I don't know what the numbers would be. I haven't done a deep dive into that personally, but I mean the whole notion of her drawing these conclusions is really, like I said, is something that's going to damage a lot of people. Because we talk a lot about the need to restructure what community is. Place based in values, based in value systems and things of that nature. You can't do it if the so-called thought leaders are always speaking about the legitimacy of not working together.
Right.
Or, they're creating escape hatches when sometimes you got to do the thing that's hard. Because one thing she's not really addressing and understanding is that if we don't produce children, and that's happening now, if we don't produce children, we know that the number of single baby, the baby deletions keep rising. If we don't produce children, we're going to have a collapse of what was somewhat of a community. And you know what I'm saying? There's not going to be another generation to pick up the pieces because they will not have been born.
Bruh. I just saw a video earlier that was saying in 5 to 10 years, I forgot who the video was about or whose video it was, but they were basically saying in 5 to 10 years, we can basically throw out the concept of Black America and just go for Black people in America. because there's no more Black America, especially for the ideas and things that she's pushing. That's why you can't convince me that she ain't got no white supremacist ties with this. Like, what the hell? You should be like, if you're a Black person and you've actually gone outside and looked around, unless she lives in some kind of bubble, you can see. And if she's a researcher, like she's saying, you know the plight of the Black community. So why wouldn't we do our best, especially somebody who's supposed to be a talented 10th motherfucker like her? We're supposed to be using our talents to help uplift our community, not tear them further apart.
I would respect her better, or respect her more, if she was like working and teaching Black women how to become better at, you know, just the whole concepts of things they need to do
with men.
Well, not listen. Baby steps. Just teaching them how to become more responsible and accountable for the things that they deal with in day-to-day life, right? And this, you know, self-improvement processes, things that have built their self-esteem, not ego, but self-esteem. I would be okay with that, because you got to start somewhere, right? A better self-esteem will create a situation where the ego takes a backseat, and then, you know, logic will take more. There'll be more of an opportunity for logic to take the front seat in decision making, right, in regards to how they're going to move and live their life. Because the logic is saying, if you look at the world and you actually add a teeny bit of foresight, what you're creating is a society that is already that's been trending down for the last 40 years. But not only trending down, it's on the verge of collapse. We aren't even paying attention to the fact that these women won't be able to afford living a single life. So a woman that has 2 or 3 children, she's not with anybody. You want to tell her to be single and maintain a single life? How? When the job market is drying up for her. Before, she's going to work more hours and make less money. If she does that, the welfare system drying up. There's no access to that anymore.
We need each other.
Right. So what are you doing? What's the end goal here besides selling more books and becoming more popular amongst these same women? You're building a fan club, but at the same time, your fan club is broken.
Look. 30% of Black women are receiving degrees. Maybe 9% of Black women, maybe 9% of Black women are making over $100,000, if that, $100,000 a year, maybe 9%. Like, most of Black people in America, male or female, do not fit the demographics or the spaces that the talking points talk about, the highly degreed and the highly earning. Most Black men and women don't fit those categories. So you know what that means? That if we don't work together, we're going to fucking fail. It's going to be difficult for people to actually make it. And she's basically emphasizing, go out and make your life harder and go further into the single hole to where you are comfortable there and you look around and you don't even need a man one day. Forget that lady. Forget what she's talking about. Black men and Black women need each other, and side eye anybody who's male or female. I don't give a fuck, male or female. Side eye anybody who's preaching for us to not be together, because they don't have our best interest. So, but with that being said, I want to show. Let me share my screen, show y'all my merch store real quick, because I got my own Shows of Giants merch store up. So, I got shirts, hats, mugs, all this stuff here. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. So. Got my dad hat here. Oh, let me take y'all through the is this the wrong one? Yeah, it's the wrong one. Hold on, my bad.
Wow.
Hey man, don't be wild with me.
Wowzer.
Hold on, they know we be struggle streaming sometimes. But see my hats, I got my what they call it, a panel cap, got a dad hat, got the young trucker hat, got my jersey type shirt, hoodies for men. This is a heavy tee, got shirts for women, got sweatshirts, all these things. I got my mug Can't wait till my mug arrive. This is another women's shirt. So link is, of course, these items are linked to the video. So the OTSOG merch shop is up. I've been wanting to do it for a while, getting together. So we are here. So, you know, if you want to get you some gear, matter of fact, if you want to go ahead and get you some gear, get you some OTSOG gear so you could be live out here and supporting everything that we got going on. So let's do it. Get you something.
Be like that pastor. If y'all ain't broke, you'll buy me something.
There you go. There you go. I want my $35,000 Movado watch. Hey man. FetLifeStation.com. Are you still on FetLifeStation?
I'm still on FetLifeStation, but I'm glad you asked because we also have a streaming network where you can find all of our podcasts. It's the True Stories Podcast Network. The True Stories Podcast Network. Trying to get some energy, we're trying to get some motion behind it so that, you know, you can watch the shows at your leisure. You can play, pause, and share. And you can find it on all the Spotify, Apple. You can find it on Google. You can find it everywhere that you have podcasts or streaming services. You will be able to find that. You just type in the True Stories Podcast Network and Professor Carl Tone Jones, and you will get the real office.
There you go. There you go. ThePAX.org, where you can get a whole bunch of Black history information, lectures, speeches, all types of stuff that Pat got on that website, man. It's a lot of information. Once again, like I tell you every week, you don't have to search hard for Black history information. Go to ThePAX.org and just read. Just read and listen. If you don't feel like reading, just listen. If you don't feel like listening, just read. It's all there for you. And of course, you know, ontheshoulders1.com, where you can support everything that I have going on. Get my books from over there. Books are for sale, so make sure you get you some books. And remember, the merchandise is connected to this video. And one more thing, Mormon, Jessica Mormon, she did put out a study, Socializing Singlehood, Personal, Interpersonal, and Socio-Cultural Factors Shaping Black Women's Single Lives. That study is linked to this video. The link is in the description, so you can go read it at your leisure. With that being said, I'm Joseph Ward. This is Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. It's another Friday. Happy New Year. Happy White Man Calendar New Year. Starting the year off right. And we'll see y'all next week. Out of here.